What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod. Now for years Konami has been telling us that Yu-Gi-Oh is merely a children's card game. So I thought what I'd do is go ahead and test that theory. What I did was I went out and found a kid that I'm going to explain kind of the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh. Not so much the rules really, but just kind of explain to him what each and every kind of card in Yu-Gi-Oh is and what it does. Now if Konami is right and Yu-Gi-Oh is truly just a children's card game, then this child should be able to understand what each and every card is. This is not even going to be complex rules or chains or anything like that. This is just simply, this is a monster, this is a trap, this is what a monster does, so forth and so on. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and explain to this child what Yu-Gi-Oh is. Alright, so here we are with our test subject. Are you ready to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Alright, awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go over what each of the cards do in the game and kind of how they work. Are you ready for this? Alright, here we go guys. Okay, so we're going to start with the most basic of monsters. This right here is a normal monster. It has just its attribute and type right here in the corners. It has no effect. That's why it's kind of like this yellowish brown color. It's often called a vanilla monster as well too. From there we move on to actual effect monsters. They come in a more slightly brownish kind of color card. It shows their effect right down over here and then lists what the effect does. From there we have like tuner effect monsters, flip effect monsters, tune monsters, spirit monsters, and of course union monsters. We also have Gemini monsters. But since you already look so overwhelmed, I'm not even going to show you one of those. Because this kind of rounds up all the different kind of effect monsters that there could be as well as the normal monster. But that's not the only kind of monsters that there are. Ritual monsters could also exist in the main deck, but if you're talking about cards that exist outside of the main deck into the extra deck, we also have purple color cards, which are fusion cards, white color cards, which are synchro cards, and of course black color cards, which are exceed monster cards. Now these are all different kinds of monster cards. They all exist in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, and each one of them has a specific type of effect that applies to a certain situation. Okay, you got that so far, right? Okay, moving on. Now there are also these bluish-green color cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! These are known as spell cards. Once upon a time they were known as magic cards. Essentially the same card but just two different names because of a big lawsuit that occurred, but I won't go into that because that's not very important for the gameplay of the game. Now the normal spell cards have no kind of icon up in the corner. Now these cards are simply spell speed 1, but I ain't going to go into spell speeds because that might be a little too complicated for you at this point. From there we move on to quick play spell cards, continuous spell cards, equip spell cards, ritual spell cards, and of course field spell cards. Now this kind of rounds up all the different kind of spell cards that could be located inside your main deck. Now moving on, we come to trap cards. Now they're going to be a little simpler because there's only three kind of types. You got the regular normal trap card with no kind of icon up over here in the corner. From there we have a continuous trap card and of course the counter trap card. This is of course spell speed 3. This fastest kind of effect that you can get into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But of course, like I said before, we're not going into spell speed, so I can't really go too much into that. But these are all the different kind of cards that could exist in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, so you're all set and ready to play Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And there you have it, YouTube. Judging by this child's reaction, I think it's pretty safe to say that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is more than a simple child's card game. But if you guys have a different opinion, please let me know in the comment section below. Is Yu-Gi-Oh! A children's card game, or is it something more? And I guess that's it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.